welcome to the Coffee and Collaborations podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Winborn of Kimberly Winborn LLC.
I am your co-host, Al the Great, CEO of Good Steward Apparel and lead designer of Good Steward Apparel Brands. CNC family, we have an amazing guest. Today we are carrying on our celebration of motherhood and of women this month. And today we have Laticia Beatty, aka Laticia Nicole. She is an entrepreneur, author, an actress, a model, speaker, minister, wife, mother, and all-around go-getter. So can we give a round of applause to her?
Yes. A Coffee and Collaborations round of applause to
Yes.
Laticia. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to say, Laticia, we know that you are doing a lot of amazing things. I'm sure there are some things that are left out. Can you tell us a little bit more about the things that you're doing for the community and in your business? Anything I might have left out?
Absolutely. So yes, I'm a philanthropist, which we help the elderly and underserved communities here in Durham, North Carolina with toiletries and food with my nonprofit organization, Purpose Professionals, aka PD Inc. I'm also, for those that did not know, on March 23rd, I'm a nursing home administrator. That was really short-lived, 5 days, 5 days in the office, and we'll get to that later. But I'm a registered nurse by trade, and I have a nursing home administration license, which I run nursing homes. And so more than I'm doing in the community is also I hold community luncheons where we have women and girls there increasing their faith, increasing their confidence. And that's what I really love to do because I'm also a certified life coach. So I don't know if you missed anything else. I'm a minister of the gospel, but I think you have everything. I always say that I'm always a work in progress. No matter what I'm doing, I'm a child of God, and I'm always learning. So I'm a servant.
Yeah.
Amen. I like that word, servant.
Heart of gold, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you today. One of the things that with Mother's Day month and the month of May, two things that we're highlighting. The fact that women are dynamic. And so we're giving women the month of May, number one. But number two, it's also Mental Health Awareness Month. And so what better person to have than someone like yourself? You mentioned three things that really stand out: a nurse, a life coach, and a minister. All of those three things say to me, this is the perfect person to have. But then also the fact that you're so dynamic and women are inspired, such as myself, by you every day. I'm going to tell you, in the beginning, we were joking about better than blessed, but I do feel better than blessed to know you and to be in fellowship with you regularly over the past year, especially. And so I just want to share you, and so does Al. We want to share you with the Coffee and Collaborations audience. So welcome once again.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a privilege and an honor. For one, when women can come together and men can come together and edify one another, that certainly means a lot to me. But also when you say collaborate, because I know these words are going to go forth to whomever listening to them, and they're going to see and hear these things that are being done. And listen, I totally believe if I'm doing anything that anybody can do it. And so hopefully we're stirring up some gifts and stirring up some businesses and other women and gentlemen that's listening. And so they know that they can do all things.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That just made me think of something, which is it just off the top of my head, you have several businesses. When was the first one that you started? Like, how old were you, or not how old were you, but how long ago?
Oh, you trying to?
How long ago did you start your first business?
Oh, wow. Okay, actually, I was in high school.
Okay.
All right.
I used to do nails. I went to a technical college in high school. and I was certified to do nails. So in college, after high school, in college, I went to Livingstone College first, and it helped me pay my way through college, and then Winston-Salem State University. and I did nails. I worked at the Pink Palace,
Uh-oh.
and I I know how to draw on a nail. I can draw an ocean front with two people holding hands walking down the beach. Those things. And so that was my first business. And actually, my second business was selling. And I'm not going to incriminate myself, but I sold these purses at the flea market.
Okay, we got it.
I had the biggest store at Cook's Flea Market in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And from having a store in a flea market, I ended up having stores and kiosks at malls here in Durham, North Carolina. I had a kiosk at South Point and a store at Northgate. So, and I had other businesses, but those were my, retail businesses.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You always
you
have
are a Carolina girl through and through.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's just something that I thought of because you do advocate for multi-streams of income. And so it's always good to know where somebody started and then hear their journey. For me, that's always inspirational. You just never know. You never know where somebody started. And so many times people think it's just like you woke up and had everything just laid out right before you, but there was always a journey.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I get it from my mama. She was an entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur. My grandmother owned a cleaners.
Really?
Verner Cleaners, Pitts Verner Cleaners, in Detroit, Michigan, and my uncles and my mama and everybody worked at the cleaners, and so I come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Wow. That's dope.
What is that saying, that overnight success is 10 years in the making?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that mastery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know that we're on Coffee and Collaboration, CNC, and one of your newest projects is a book, which is a manifestation of collaboration. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about that book, and tell us a little bit about the process and how you chose the women that you're collaborating with?
My God. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna be truthful because God has been like on my back, like hard. I get, how you can get that press in your back and you don't do what he say. So about over a year ago, I was supposed to do this. And I ended up doing a cruise conference. Okay. And about 30 women were there. Our Stories, His Glory cruise conference with speakers. And,
all right.
And so all these amazing stories start coming out. And as these stories were coming out and filling the room and helping people with their confidence, a 74-year-old woman, I heard this little still voice say, "I have something to say." And we all looking around like, what? I have something to say. Mm. This woman was not even planning on coming on Our Stories, His Glory conference. Her family just happened to see us. They all came in, they bought shirts, they blended in, okay? She started talking about how she was married for 50 years and her husband had left her for another woman, and how she wanted to die before this cruise. She didn't even want to come. Her grandchildren made her come. She said, how could he leave us, right? She said, wow. But now after hearing your stories, I know I can keep going. Wow. And I thought I had all of my authors right there in that room, Kim. I really did. I didn't think it was going to be a process of, trying to put something out there to get authors to tell their stories, because they were already conditioned. Because before you run a race, you got to get conditioned for the race. That's you right. Can't just write a story, because that's mentally taxing. Okay. Right. This is my 5th book. So you just can't just start writing, because you got mama and them and cousin and them and babies and them. That's and right. Everybody that you got to think about, like, when I say this, who am I about to offend, and all, whatever. So I came back thinking I had all my authors. And when I tell you, out of 30 women from that cruise, I think 3 are in this book out of 16. Wow. And so I couldn't let that be an excuse. God said, put it out there. Now, I thought I could just go on a cruise, get the people in the room. And no, I had to put it out there. He said, when you build, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
I put it out and they start coming. People were saying, okay. And even now, it's our story, his glory have to happen too, part 2, because people are saying, hey, I have a story. I have a story. So I realized that our stories, his glory, was not just for me. It was for other people as well, because even the word of God, I am who I am. Revelations 12 said that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony, that we do not love life so much that we shrink to death, right?
Yeah.
So it has to keep going. It's so many people that have stories that they want to tell. And it's like, hey, I'm giving them an avenue to let their voices be made, heard, to let their stories be heard so it can help somebody else. So they know they're not the only ones that have gone through, right? So that's
Yeah.
pretty much where our stories, his glory, came from. Because at first I was like, well, what is my story, his glory? No. He said, when I give you a vision, it's not just for you, it's big for other people. And so even in this pandemic, the authors have been able to earn money. Authors they can make money during where some have lost jobs, some have took pay cuts, and I mean, it's like giving people a solution to a problem. So I thank God for it, and healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really cool. You just never know what he is up to. You just never know. You went from a cruise ship experience thinking it was going to be this group of women to a totally different group of women almost, to now it catapulting to a whole other level that you never even saw. Like, I just love that story because I just love the power of God. And one of the shows that I had early on was Our Ultimate Collaboration Has to Be with God. And that's what happens when we collaborate with him and just let him take over. It's beyond us. Like, we can't even see it, and so that's truly exciting. Such a great story. You have 4 other books though,
Yes,
right? You mentioned you have 5. So what are the others? And I know we were just talking about one right before the.
I know. I'll talk about that one last, because I don't tell nobody. Shh. Tell nobody. It's my favorite right now. It's like, so my first book was 100-day devotion. It's Speak Life. We have the power of life and death in our tongue, and it teaches you how to speak daily affirmations about your career, your relationship, your job, your finances. So it teaches you how to reflect and journal with the word of God. So it's like, it's not going to ever go out of style, because it's just the word of God.
Yeah.
It don't change. My next book was called Healing Toxic Habits. This was also a collaboration.
Okay.
But the toxic habits being fear, doubt, shame, anger. And I wrote about anger. Lord have mercy. We can talk about that another day. Healing toxic habits. And then I also wrote, and this was also a collaboration, called Unsilence, Faces of the Domestic Violence. And this book teaches you how to get out alive. Okay. It in the back, it's giving you a safe emergency safety plan. And all these women share their stories, whether it was abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, because we have to know it's different kinds of abuse.
Yeah.
And so this book, Unsilenced Faces of Domestic Violence, and of course, Our Stories, His Glory. But let me tell you, honey, this baby right here just came out about a month ago. I Am Beautiful. And this is joy. This is words, powerful words for powerful little girls, words of powerful little girls. And her name is Joy. And Laticia means joy. Okay. When I was a little girl, I always thought I was ugly. No matter what my mama would say to me, she would tell me all the time. Actually, the book was supposed to be I Am Pretty. Mm-hmm. And they said, people don't say pretty. That's really shallow. And I was like, well, back then, honey, in 1980, and pretty was the word. And they said, well, can you change your name to Bonita? No. So, so I'll go with I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I get it. But guess what? This is me. I sent a picture of me. That's me. And this is my mother.
Oh.
Wow.
And my mother used to tell me, we say, Joy, you are so beautiful. But I didn't believe her. I said, no, I'm not. My mama said, you've been saying that since you were able to talk. No, and no, I'm not.
Wow.
So this teaches little girls how to speak life into themselves, how to love themselves inside and out, knowing that they are wonderfully and fearfully made. They are uniquely made.
Yeah.
And I talk about appearances, I talk about hair, I talk about skin color. I just talk about it all because the truth of the matter is all these little girls, all of them are beautiful and they're all talented. And okay, so I'm gonna put that down because I can keep going and on because I love that book because so many little girls, I have a mission to speak life to over 100 little girls.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I mean, it's like really people are gathering and helping me with the mission. And these little girls are sending me pictures talking about, I am beautiful. I'm like, okay.
So adorable.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm sure that as a result of what you're talking about, it's also affecting grown women.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Because many grown women can look in the mirror and say to themselves, I am beautiful. They're still saying I'm ugly. That moment as a kid, that you felt that. And it goes with us through our entire lives sometimes. And so, it can cross generations. So that is really beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like if we speak life into the seed, that you'll have more collaborations with less drama.
Yeah.
If they learn as the seed, that they don't have to compete, that they
That's
can
right.
collaborate. We are strong alone, but we're unstoppable together. And if women could just understand that, and I believe we have to start with we got all these women conferences.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody speaking to the women. Got women that are loose. Women, all these women conferences. And God just told me to start speaking life to the seed. Start talking to the little girls and the little boys. But right now, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that it's really amazing that in a world that is can be very harsh, I think we have to give compliments and be positive on purpose. And I think that's something that you have definitely mastered. So with so many collaborations under your belt, especially being an author and collaborating with other authors, I know there are going to be women out there that are going to watch this and they're going to say, how can I do that? How can I collaborate on a book? I have an idea. How do you do that? Can you give them an idea of how to start? Give them an idea of the process.
Absolutely. It starts with a thought. And write the vision and make it plain. I mean, it's different avenues for different people. I've worked on my own, but I've worked with two publishing companies.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find your budget, and you have to just go for it. Like my thing is from writing stories of triumph. I know God put me on this earth to help people get through. So you have to figure out what's your purpose and just walk in it. That's pretty much what I can say. And write the vision, make it plain, and use SMART goals, or you're going to just drive yourself crazy. Or they're specific, it's measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely. Don't say I'm going to have a book out by next week. I know a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I can write a book in 30 minutes. Okay. I'm telling you, it's a process. It's a mental process. If it's really, all of my books are true stories. So I don't write nonfiction, or everything I write is a help book. So you have to decide what's best for you, or you can collaborate with me, one or the other.
So what is the value of collaboration to your business? So we've talked about the books, but what about your business, all of the various businesses that you have?
Absolutely. So for those, and I like to help people. like right now, the pandemic, I can write out to where my clients or my co-authors, if they want to earn $10,000 a month, basically that's selling over 100, like a little over 100 books a week. That's 10 books a day. You know, just having a goal. I believe in not only your products should, you know, serve you, but it should also serve the people that are buying your product. So that's why I choose books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the books, I know Al had asked you what was that process for you, but you did partner somehow, some way with a publishing company, or like what was that process as far as getting out there? Because I know this was a different sort of process for you than the others, correct?
Absolutely. This was a very different process. Um, Very different process.
Mm-hmm.
The other books that I have, all of the authors I know, either I went to high school, I went to college with them, we know each other, we know some things about our stories. It was a very comfortable process because I was with women that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Versus healing toxic habits. I started going out, you know, asking people, would you like to be a part of this? But it's still, I didn't put myself all the way out there. I believe our stories, His glory, God threw me all the way into the deep. And to be able to be on social media, to be on Instagram, and to ask people, you know, can you relate to this? And also through this process, like I said, it totally depends on the publishing company you go through. Some publishing companies offer coaching, some don't. If you are a new author, if you're a new author, and I suggest you go with a company that provides coaching, because you'll be lost out there, you know. So
Yeah.
I hope that's answering your question.
That's a good tip, though. Like that's a really good tip, because I don't think you seemed alarmed when she said that too, Al. Did you know that some publishing companies offer coaching?
I did not know that. That is
Yeah.
definitely a good tip.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. And so for that new author, and that's the whole thing, we want to inspire. And so for that woman or man out there that's listening, that's like, I do have an idea, but I don't know what in the world to do, to be able to say, well, okay, you can get a coach. Did you know that you could get a coach? Or to be able to say, okay, it's a process. Make sure to have some smart goals around it, you know, to be able to get these tips from you. You never know what's going to birth from this particular show. So that's exciting. Absolutely exciting for me, and another reason why we want to highlight dynamic people like you. And then I think about, so how I met you or found out about you was actually from the nonprofit. It was actually from the nonprofit, not all of the other stuff, amazing things that you do, the books, none of that. It was from the nonprofit. You were doing your Thanksgiving blessing back in, I think it was 2017. And I saw it on social media, and I was like, I want to help with that. Like, I want to know what I can do. I have communities, I have networks. What can I do to help this process? And that's actually how I met Laticia, Al, from Thanksgiving, from the nonprofit. And so that's all I knew about her. And then to connect and see all of this other amazing stuff. And so I just want to touch really quickly on the dreamer in you, because you just started modeling, or that I know of. You could have been doing it, but modeling, you sing, you're an author, you're going out here after dreams that may have had to sit on a shelf because of motherhood or whatever. So can you speak to that? Like, what was that for you? Was it something that you pulled back out because your kids got to a certain age, or, you know, what is that? A model? What is that?
Well, I've been modeling for a while, but I wanted not only just raw talent, I wanted to be trained. I wanted to graduate, right? I wanted to not just be doing hair shows and fashion shows. I wanted to be able to be paid for my talents. God said that my gifts should make room for me, right? And so I wanted to also ensure that as this gift, I needed to be on paper that I am the expert, because I'm also now, I'm a teacher. I'm teaching modeling, I'm teaching acting, I'm teaching cold reading, and make and how to make commercials. And so now I'm actually teaching with John Casablanca,
Wow.
as well. So, and so you get paid for that, right? So when I was younger, I would do all this modeling, but yeah, when I got older, I modeled in, what is that, the Southern Women's Show,
Yeah.
and also modeled in women's empowerment, and it's like, okay, all right, go. It's time to get the paper behind that. So I went ahead and went to school and made sure that when I go to, Tyler Perry, or if I go to, that I know exactly how to slay. It is something called slay. Hello, my name is Laticia Nicole, and I'm represented by Model and Talent Management. You want to know the terms.
Yes.
You want to know what you're doing. You don't want to be out there looking crazy. So, yeah, and that was also a dream of mine, as a child. So, yes, I model. Yes, I sing. Yes, I act. Yes, I'm an author. Yes, I'm a nurse. Yes, I'm a philanthropist. Yes, I'm a minister. But like I said, all that I do is all to be a servant of God. I said, just say, use me. And he said, you can do all things through me. So when people put limits on you and they put a ceiling over you, I know that ain't of God. Oh, you're doing too much. Oh, yeah, I'm doing what God said I can do. I can do all things, right? Oh, she don't act like a Christian. Well, he not looking for an actor. you know so I'm just like, I think I'm breaking boundaries, to let people know that they can love the Lord, and they can be a minister, and they can minister the word of God, and they can be a Lord evangelist, and and still be a teacher, a nurse, a mom, a wife,
Yeah.
all the things that God has created in us. So
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is amazing. I think for a lot of Christians, they think that they have to stay in a certain box. If I'm a Christian, I gotta sing gospel, or I gotta, do something that's, church related. So I think that's amazing that you're showing people that you can do all these different things.
thank you.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things is, you have done a lot of collaborations. So what would you say, or maybe give us a couple of tips of how do you ensure that you have a good collaboration? Because we all have had collaboration fails. So how do you ensure, like, you have plenty of examples of successful collaborations. So how do you ensure that you have a successful collaboration?
Structure. I have I've had failed collaborations too. Don't And I think that's what we do. We keep running the race in such
Mm-hmm.
a way that we should win. No matter what the weather is outside, you just got to keep running. And I learn by doing. I'm one of them people. I just do it. I think it and I just do it. Like, I want to be in a movie. Yeah, head ladies in charge. Just be in it. Just go. I'm one of them people. So just do it. But I can tell you from experience, plan it. But a lot of times people don't feel comfortable with planning. It's just like, well, I'm just gonna just do it. Well, if you do not plan to fail. You have to have structure. You have to, because I know even when companies did not offer coaching, I still had to coach. I still had to coach regardless. It has to be some coaching. It has to be some avenues, or for your authors to be able to reach out to you and speak to you about what they're feeling, or have that in place for them. Because like she said, it's hard on the mind. It can push you into depression. Actually, my first book, I didn't even publish. My first book was actually, it opened me up to write my other books, because my first book was written as a victim, but God said, no, when you write, you're going to write as being victorious.
Wow.
Amen.
You already got enough victims out there. Show
Yeah.
them how to get to the other side.
Wow. Yeah. I'm with Al.
Very powerful.
Amen.
Amen. That's very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. So that first book ended up catapulting you to be able to write and go through the process, but it wasn't necessarily what God wanted you to do. And so you took a step back and then was able to write the things that he wanted you to do, and have produced 5 books now that are blessing the lives of
Absolutely.
people. Like, that's an amen moment for real.
Yes.
That's one of the things I've started to, I've realized, I've told people, when you keep an ear to God, there is no wasted time. Like, something that you feel like is a waste of time can end up giving you the experience to do
Yeah.
this other things. So there is no wasted time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You gotta keep your ear open.
That's good. Yeah. So I want to make sure that everyone can get in contact with you. I also want to be sure that I was thinking about something as you were speaking earlier, when you guys were talking about Christianity and the things that people think. And I was thinking about Al, because Al is the founder of Good Steward Apparel, which, when I met him, it was presented to me as a Christian founded company for apparel. And, with all these positive messages, different things like that. And I remember, Al, and just hearing Laticia made me think about this. I remember when you wanted to do a swimsuit line. And I remember some of the feedback that you got from that. And it's just so funny that the thing that God has you to do, we got to wear swimsuits to the beach, like to the pool.
Yes, yeah.
And so why is that not a Christian thing? So I just think about how you handled that. I think when Laticia was talking about that, I thought about you and how you handled that, and just absorbing this conversation, because you guys know I'm an observer. Just absorbing this conversation, hearing her made me think of you. And then, so that person that's listening, somebody is listening, that God has told you to do something, but the naysayers and the people are like, that's not right, that's not Christian, that's not this, that's not that. This is your time to do it. Like, the reason why you're listening to this and hearing this today is because this is for you. So I just wanted to pause. I know this is totally not a part of our conversation, but I just wanted to pause and take that moment, because all of that was for somebody.
Yeah, you definitely have to push boundaries, and that's one of our goals of our brands.
Yeah.
Definitely to push boundaries, because people think, when in fashion, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, there's a way to do it and still be a good representation of God, and not always what people think.
Yeah. If you follow her, if you follow Laticia, she's a great example too of that, just being very bold with fashion, colors, prints, patterns, rompers, just different things that a lot of people wouldn't wear, but it's beautiful.
Thank you.
This could be a whole conversation. But how do people get in contact with you? Because we want to be sure they can get the books, especially I Am Beautiful, since that's your favorite right now. So how do they get the books, but then also get in contact with you, like through social media or your website?
Absolutely. So thank you for that. I'm Laticia Nicole on social media, Laticia, Nicole, Nicole. I'm also LaticiaNicole.com as my website. And you can also purchase my books off of my website as well. Laticia Nicole Speak Life, Instagram, and Laticia Nicole, LaticiaNicole.com, Laticia Nicole at LaticiaNicole.com. So
for email, yeah.
All those things are Laticia Nicole. So I look forward to hearing from the people that either, you want to collaborate, or you even want, you're saying, hey, I want to be an author. I have a book. Can you point me in the right direction? It's all about like helping one another. So I look forward to hearing from you. But I also want you to know that you can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I believe in you. And I thank you, Kim. I thank you, Al, for this time. To basically, I feel like, to speak life into the atmosphere. And I feel like when I do it, it shall not return to me void. So this has been amazing. And I thank you.
You're welcome.
Love
Thank
it. I
you.
love it. I will definitely be getting your book, I Am Beautiful. That is actually one of the affirmations, one of the 3 affirmations that my kids repeat back to me when I ask them who they are. They say I'm intelligent, I'm powerful, and I'm beautiful. Even my son, because we've had this conversation about what beauty actually is. So I will definitely get your book. Thank you for joining us. We are very appreciative of you joining us. And CNC family, please follow her. Please get her books. I think all of them will be a blessing to your life and to someone else's life. And please continue to join us all month long as we celebrate entrepreneurs, we celebrate women, amazing women and amazing mothers.
That's right. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at Coffee and Collaborations, as well as Facebook. And you can also find other episodes of the show and get to see the beautiful faces of our guests on our YouTube channel at Coffee and Collaborations Media. If you're a Twitter head, we're also on Twitter at Coffee and Collab. You know, they cut us short on Twitter with the handles. But guys, this has been amazing. There is a dynamic woman in your life that you want to highlight. Reach out to us. Let us know. We would love to shout them out. Just email info@coffeeandcollaborations.com and go check out the website as well, coffeeandcollaborations.com. There's a contact page there where you can also reach out to us. You can find us everywhere. That's the whole point. So don't give up. Reach out. You have something you want to say or you want to share, let us know. So that's our show. We want to thank Laticia Nicole once again. And you guys remember, the coffee, that's not essential. It's that collaboration part that will help you win. All right, so let's go out here and win. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
This has been a Coffee and Collaborations media production. Follow us at coffeeandcollaborations.com, on Twitter at coffee in the letter N collab, on Instagram at Coffee and Collaborations, and on Facebook at Coffee and Collaborations. See you in the next episode.